Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman, and I am taking my sweet, valuable day off to record Poxnor games for everyone. Feel free to praise me more. But we've got a game here between Vodka, or xVoddka. I'm going to call him Vodka X, because that sounds cooler. You put the X at the end. He's playing zombies. Versus Tacticals, playing full faction SP, Slags, a player I'm going to be honest, I have not heard a single lick about until today. But this is going to be a tournament game. If you were unaware, there was a tournament bracket for I'm going to call them newbie, not newbies. It's basically a lower bracket level tournament. Compared to some of the higher ELO players, they were disallowed from joining actually by Alakami, who's organizing it, and it's basically I'm not sure what the point of it is. I guess he just wanted to host a tournament just for shits and giggles, but for the lower brackets, the lower decks, like on like that Star Trek spinoff. That's what this is going to be, and it's the rules are basically each person gets a faction, and it's going to be. They have to choose from that faction one of the newly buffed themes from the culmination of all the patches that we've had so far. So it's Slags, Zombies in this one, and then there's also Crystals for ST and Griffins for IS. SL gets, I believe they get Skizik, and KF gets fairies and whatever, and UD gets demons. So it's that kind of system. And the winner, it'll be the usual bracket system up on the Discord for those interested in checking it out. But here in this game, it's gonna be some messy Uzi boys versus the Lumberers. Already Vodka has shown a bit of his hand. He's playing the disease amp variant. I'm assuming he's got upgraded amp on the corpse golem. And that to me has already stood out as probably the strongest version of zombies, maybe even one of the strongest Forsaken Waste decks in general. It's crazy how strong some of the new Amp Disease stuff is. If you can get that amp rolling, it's funny because Amp Disease is probably better than Frost Amp now. It's legitimately one of the strongest amp decks in the game. But here we've got Rot Rapper. Can't she take Amplified Disease as well? Maybe I'm misremembering. But Corpse Golem is going to be heading for that font versus the Rattle. And on this map, I would probably give the advantage to Slags, just because a lot of the play that happens around this mid font is very condensed, very jam-packed. Mid font maps tend to favor Slags because of the way their racials work, happen in a very tight AOE, and if you can get a lot of relocation going in those small spaces and choke points, you're probably going to be good to go. Whereas with zombies, on this map, you can't really harass these side fonts as zombies because you don't have very many, speedy champs, very many elusive champs that can get in there and harass and do damage that way. So you kind of have to play into the mid font and bank on swarms. And I'm assuming that's what Vodka's going to do, but they are more of a slower build-up theme than the Slags. I haven't played very much of the new Slags. They've always looked interesting ever since the changes, but I don't know, something about them tells me that I wouldn't be a good fit for the theme. But Slag Overmind I have played with, and he comes with 2 sources of anti-spell now. I feel like this guy you could even make an argument for running him in just SP in general. Comes with a nice array of support abilities. If you want a champion that just hard punishes spell spammers, and this is your guy, with this build specifically, then Mind Wipe Aura is always pretty useful. Just throw that boy in there and pacify everybody for a turn. Man, the Lost Queen, the poor Lost Queen, I will never... what was done to her was crying shame. After she lost Brainless, it's like, she's still more interesting on the board, and I guess she's cheaper for it, but she lost the gimmick that she was initially reworked into having, and now she's just a relocation and CC focused mid-range zombie champion. And I mean, I guess to be honest, I would have preferred one of the other two designs, either the super cheapo final word queen that was basic. Like even in that incarnation, she had binding chains, she had ensnare, and she could lock people down and then just stall for time. It was a little boring playing her that way, but after she got the rework and she got brainless, I was like, okay, sweet, we got something that's actually makes her worth deploying over the other 70-ish zombies like Corpse Golem and whatnot. And then people complained and they were like, nah, we ain't having interesting champions. we don't do that around here. And she got reworked into basically this. I mean, she can still fascinate. She got fascinate back. And then, grand entrance is fun, I guess. But I don't know. I would have liked the gimmick rather than just trying to make her more interesting with other abilities. But it looks like there's the herder coming in. Not much has happened in the game so far. Just some shrinkage going on. The ancient slag suffering the perils of shrinkage at his age, and it's not like that's going to mean anything for him, right? He's already past his prime. The slag women are looking at him with the side eye, like you better not look up my skirt while I'm bending over. Meanwhile, the Ooze King slag is like they're all up on his slaggy. They're all up on his slaggy dick. But Ancient Slag, very, very sad here. He can do a gravity well, I guess. But I don't think that's going to be enough. Like, he can't really pull anything into range. I'm kind of sad Slag Overmind lost Relocate Ally, but I guess he got compensated in other ways. Festering Corpse Summon, not having the best of days going down here. I mean, it's a summon. It doesn't mean anything if you lose it, but it does, like... It was something that xVoddka could have used to fuel the zombie racial, just as another body to get his swarms going. But yeah, here, and double caustic slag is very nice into zombies because they don't tend to have that much range. Like you can pull and drag stuff around through the ooze, and I think the ooze is actually going to be a nice counter here to Final Word because I'm pretty sure dragging onto ooze and dying to ooze tap will not trigger it. And then, of course, if Lost Queen walks on it to take damage, then she'll die to that, and she won't kill anything on her way out anyway. So there is counterplay here to that. And Corpse Golem, meanwhile, can't, like, he's just gonna sit. He's just sitting at the back of that font, like, no, you come to me. And I've been on my feet all day. I gotta rest. And the Rattle Slag, his Sigma grind has to be like, he's been moving around that font. Not doing too much, but he's been moving. He's been on his toes. He's buck dodging and weaving, and Corpse Golem just standing there like Mike Tyson just staring him down. Not too impressed, and Ancient Slag gonna get gummed up in the Lost Queen's bandages. But I guess this is gonna turn into a kind of a poke match. Double caustic versus the Dead Fairy. I think in a battle of attrition, zombies will eventually come out on top because they have a lot of good anti-healing, assuming xVoddka is running it. I haven't seen any of the competitors' decks. I kind of wanted to go in as like completely blind, just have it be a surprise. But yeah, zombies I know do have a lot of rotting blows. They have a lot of inhibiting touch. Well, some inhibiting touch. I want to see... They do also have dark healing on the Crypt Guardian, which would be a great deploy because you just walk on the ooze and you heal up the slags for half, but then you get half of that healing as well. So it basically turns their racial against them, and it would be a great deploy to get down early as possible. Yeah. Definitely not too fond of relying on spells, xVoddka, so maybe you just hold off until you can guarantee some swarms here. Like, xVoddka's in no rush. Like, he doesn't want to just run in and play into the ooze any more than he has to, because if he makes an attack here, he's just going to spawn ooze, and then he's going to get pulled around, and it's going to be no fun. Corpse Golem with Absorb, though, can be pretty nice versus all this range. SP doesn't really have a way around that, and they can't do a vertical push anymore and just win that font, which is super nice. Anytime you played versus SP, you kind of have to stick a relic in all your fonts, because if they get rushed and they vertical pushed you, it would be very not so nice to just have a font sniped like that, especially a back font like on Snarling Tangle or something. But yeah, the Ancient Slag getting pretty low. I would be worried about a swarm here. Corpse Golem can maybe get in range with like an Elsarai Bazaar or a Moby. Execution Order is an interesting pick in zombies because a lot of your scariest champions are melee. And giving them Execute for a turn, just buffing up their damage, ensuring that they can, get a good swarm off, would be a nice idea. So yeah, Tacticals here in this position, it seems like he's trying to find an opening, but I honestly don't really see a good way to do it. I guess he can maybe gravity, and then try to kill that Ooze Queen on Ooze Queen. Yeah, she'll be the Ooze Queen after this. If she gets dragged into the ooze, one space, and then dies that way, that'd be nice. So she gets pulled that way, is on 9. Maybe you can work around Dissipate somehow. Use that to your advantage and just back out. Attack from like max range. But he has Strike upgraded too. We can calculate that. So it would be minus. Attacks from max range, it'll be -4. But so there's going to be an Avalanche just to finish her off. Alright, I mean, it costs a spell, but it is what it is. He gets the Globe. And that does thin the numbers a little bit. The Fletchweaver Witches do not have Zombie Apocalypse, so I would think there would be no danger of a swarm going turn. This one back here, I don't know why xVoddka deployed this one so far back. I guess he was, anticipating a relocate somehow? Like a pull or whatever. But yeah, Ancient Slag doesn't have pull anymore. He just has Gravity Well, which I guess fits him a little better. Just like he's the big bulky guy, He pulls people in with the mass of his girth. And yeah, this Fletchweaver can summon a corpse. Okay, well, I was gonna say she could summon a corpse and then xVoddka could deploy, and then that would be 5 zombies. But it doesn't look like he's gonna do that. There is the Bazaar though. Okay, so he's gonna do the Bazaar like I thought, contesting the font, giving Corpse Golem the train exertion. So he's going to be able to get an attack. I mean, he could get this kill. I mean, it would be very easy for him to do that, but I would like to see a swarm somehow. Are these summon festerings available yet? Okay, so there's another Lost Queen. It is only 4. And yeah, there's the summon. There's the 5. Okay, so he does have to hit once with the Fairy first. What is Fairy? Oh, she doesn't have Forsaken Exploit. Okay. But there's the other herder, and yeah, zombies can really throw down a lot of AP out of nowhere. The charge. Okay, yeah, the charge doesn't trigger Swarm, though, because it's not a basic attack. Yeah, Swarm has to be basic attack only, so he doesn't actually get that Swarm. That's actually really painful. But then again, this is why we're watching the games. This is the Tournament of Noobs, and there's going to be a lot of wacky plays, a lot of mistakes. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, is some craziness to go down. Yeah, grabs that globe, and then retreats off the ooze. Shrinking the Voltaic is pretty nice because it ensures good follow-up for next turn. Maybe you can get a swarm off that, but I don't know. I don't know if I would have backed that far out with Corpse Golem. I think I would have preferred staying where he was, maybe forcing the Mind Wipe aura. Because, I mean, he has Absorb, right? Like, you're not going to be able to kill him with Caustic alone. But I feel like this Fleshweaver is totally dead. The Caustics can just walk up and then kill her. This one at 3 to 6 range can do a double tap, actually pull her in, and then just, the other one can finish. There's the big daddy. There's Ooze King Slag, another Gravity Well champ. Gravity Well, the upgrade that Tacticals went with. And I think Intimidating is a nice choice. A lot more interesting than just, Majestic, the way he used to have. Used to be like Majestic Absorb, and he would be like, you wouldn't really see him super champed, but he was basically a super champ in and of himself. It was a little lame. This way he has a lot more synergy with the Slags. You pull stuff in with magnetism. But the Rattle Slag here, eyeing that Bazaar, shopping for his next accessory, I guess. Slags, I feel like Slags would accessorize. They could slide some rings around their bodies and then jiggle. Like, imagine oozing Slag at a strip club. A female oozing Slag, of course, just jiggling with a bunch of rings around her slimy body, and for the entertainment of the other slags. I love how some of the flavor text on these boys is just like, it used to be very generic, just slag repeated after each other, but it kind of gives an insight into the slag society, as it were. See, the Ooze King considers itself to be the center of slag culture, implying that there is actually a slag culture out there somewhere in the Shattered Peaks. Stealing Zombie Herder with Mindlock is pretty clutch. Although this Flesh Weaver was going to die anyway, so it didn't really matter. Of course, Tacticals is not running any zombies. But, I mean, it does leave the globe. I think that Flesh Weaver Witch outlived her use... Well, not outlived it, but she basically got a lot of value already. So, no point in crying over her death. You can get the globe and then recoup that loss. But yeah, Fester on the Flesh Weavers. Another source of anti-healing for these Slagos. And now, I mean, yeah, Tacticals has not a great position, but I feel like if he can maybe... I don't know if he's allowed to run, like, champs outside the theme. Like, if he were allowed to run in his deck the Cyclops Ritualist, then maybe he would have, like, an out to these swarms. But I don't... Like, by the tournament rules, I'm pretty sure you have to play, like, the theme pure. You can't have any, like, outside support. I'll double check with Alakami about that if it becomes necessary. But there's the Crypt Guardian. Oh, he doesn't have Dark Healing upgraded. Okay, well, that would have been a great matchup for Slags. Another thing is, I'm pretty sure you can change upgrades between games. So if you know you're going to be going against Slags, for example, you could change your upgrades on your champs to match or to better counter your opponents that way. Lost Queen eyeing that Voltaic, maybe... Okay, so she's not going to go for a Swarm. Just going to latch him down with the bandages again. And yeah, I would be doing what Vodka's doing here, just redirecting your focus towards that rattle in mid. Because all of Tactical's shit is over here, and he can't really, like without Relocate Ally or anything on the Overmind, can't really get your shit over here fast enough to reinforce that fight. Confusing the Rattleslag, making him even stupider than he already was. I've always thought Rattleslag looked pretty stupid, like his artwork. He's like, I don't know, he kind of reminds me of Bluebelly. I actually forget the champ's actual name. That's how long it's been since I've used it. Bluebelly, you know, the guy with Extraction, or he used to have Extraction. He sort of looks like that, but like more like anglerfishy. I don't know, that face kind of reminds me of that, and he's gross. Not like my queen over here, who with the 3,000-year-old skincare routine. Look at that! Look at that skin! Look at how smooth and shiny that looks. She definitely uses the Aveeno or whatever, the zombie variant of that. But Elser and Bazaar going down, and Corpse Golem, what did he eat? Oh, he ate Resilient. Pretty nice. Actually, that's really good for Vodka that he ate the Resilient upgrade, because now he doesn't take damage from the ooze by walking on it. But Tactical's here just chewing through those Zombre swarms. And I feel like Tacticals is a little bit tilted now, because I was watching a game of his before this started. He got out of with Sombra, and if anyone knows who Sombra is or his sort of reputation, it's not good. He is a very sleazy, cheesy, lemon squeezy type of player, and he does not. He's not a very good winner. Accusations have sort of been flying around that he's maybe hacking, but I've yet to see any conclusive proof. But yeah, Tacticals did not do so well in that game, so he's kind of playing off of tilt right now, and we'll see if that can end up working for him. Ooh, the Ooze King gets fascinated forward. The king gets drawn to his queen. And of course, as a slag of culture, he knows how to properly worship his queen by killing her. And I'm assuming that's what Tacticals is going to try and do here. But unfortunately, Vodka has the advantage right now, and I would be... is there any way you can get a swarm off on that Voltaic in the back? His Fleshweaver is I wouldn't say out of position, but she's really far back. It's hard for her to do anything in support. Like she could be using Hex, she could be cursing stuff. Like you're kind of having these abilities to go to waste here. Banking purely on the herder cooldown coming back for you, but I mean, when you're against this much dragging attack and relocation, it kind of makes sense. So Skull of Decay in the font, also the recently reworked Skull of Decay. Now more of a frontline or like frontline-ish relic. Amplified Disease and Contaminate Nora, so it does have that utility, I guess, and then Corrupting Aura as well, so vulnerability to the closest champion. I know a lot of other FW players would complain about the Skull rework, but I don't know, having like constant anti-healing sitting at the back of your shrine, maybe not the best idea for a 25 Nora relic. It was kind of auto-include for a while just because it was FW's best source of anti-healing. And in like long, grindy games, you would always have Skull of Decay and Unholy Tomb and Tome of Hate, all those relics sitting at the back of your shrine, just chipping away, and Skull of Decay preventing any real recourse. Contaminate Nora is interesting. I don't really see it coming up a lot, but I mean, you know, it's disease damage, so it does get amped, it does vulnerable stuff. So it's pretty good now. I'd definitely consider it for a slot. 25 HP too. So what's Amp at right now? He's got 40% Amp. He does have Unholy Tomb in the back. I'm not sure when he deployed that, but he does have it. And then Dark Healing, of course, from the... Wait, where does he have Dark Healing? What am I missing? Vodka has Dark Healing somewhere. Oh yeah, it's on the Rot Wrapper now. Oh my god, I completely missed that. I thought Crypt Guardian still had it, but now the Rot Wrapper has it now. So yeah, Vodka is basically set. The Use King is in the font, chasing his queen here, but I don't know. The Intimidating might be more infuriating for Vodka to deal with than I initially thought. Caustic's in the back, still plinking away, and I guess this is why he was worried about keeping Fleshweaver at so long range. Because now, I mean, Slag Overmind, yeah, he's going to go with the pull, drag that babe forward, and then I guess Voltaic to finish it off. And these things can get pretty damn scary now that they lost empowered range, because they basically have constant 6 range when a Voltaic is around. And you can do some knockback shenanigans with Impact Strike. Dragging attack at 6 range is really strong. I'm wondering if like SPSL Acid would be an idea. Like just run Slags and then all the Acid Amp from Sundered Lands. But there's a Sludge Pool in the font, and Tacticals is actually, I mean, he's doing really well over here now, but the mid font very secure for Vodka. He hasn't gotten too many swarms. I guess he's been having trouble keeping his numbers up. Got to bump up those numbers, man. Those are rookie numbers. And see the shambling zombie, shambling through life without a care, has now died because he's not on that Sigma grind set like the other zombies. So there's an Essence Drain. Oh god, he's gonna forget about Intimidating, I think. Another Skull of... Yeah, he forgot about Intimidating. Unless... Crypt Guardian... he can double hit, but he's not in Relic Guardian range. Oh, he gets pulled into it by Psychic... Wait, then he back... Okay, well, he had to back off because he was out of range. But he does get that kill. And no swarms? Huh. He has Swarm. Why did he not get the Swarm on that guy? Did he die to something that wasn't the basic attack? Is that what happened there? Maybe that's a visual... Oh yeah, that's a visual bug, I think, with the zombie. No, he has 5. This isn't the Swarm. This is the other summon that was already there. All right. Well, I guess that's a little unfortunate for him. But the Slag Overmind also down to 11, and that was a really nice turn. He got both of those kills. I guess Tacticals. Okay, yeah. So there's the Swarm. I don't know what was up with that first one. Yeah, just like that, Tacticals has lost the advantage he had over here. I don't know, running in like that versus Forsaken Waste, like you gotta kind of assume that Essence Drain and Stiff is a priority. He was doing okay, just poking with the Caustics. But I can understand that late game versus zombies is not really where you want to be. The new Mountain Slag, I think this is probably the most fun champion in the theme right now. Like, look at just the idea of a champion with Repulsion and Fascinate, just pulling things back and forth every turn is hilarious. And he just sits there, he grounds everything with Wind Aura, so Slags can get around one of their major weaknesses, which is flyers. And, you know, he can toss out a bomb occasionally, so yeah, he's pretty bulky. Very, very much a troll champion, right up my alley. And so there's another knockback from the Caustic. And a Corrosive, he's on 5. Yeah, I mean here, so there is Ooze Tap out, but Lost Queen would have to move within 5 spaces of that for it to kill her. So I guess if I were Vodka, first of all, I'd take care of that Sludge Pool. But then I'd want to move the Lost Queen off of the Ooze before that Mountain Slide gets in her face, just so that, you know, she doesn't die to walking. Little force tacticals to spend more Nora killing her. But I mean, Vodka's not out of it yet. He's losing champions over here, but again, mid is secure. He could maybe look for a swarm on that mountain. How much amp does he got? He still has 40% amp. And Quick Guardian taking a hit. This Dead Fairy has done quite a bit of work for Vodka so far. So yeah, I would be... that Mountain Slug doesn't have any range protection at all. Be a little worried. Maybe a Shrink, and then Corpse Golem can exert for a double hit. And the Slag is vulnerable because of that skull. So yeah, that might end up being a swarm here for Vodka. And then once Vodka regains that font, after killing the Ooze Relic, can he kill it in one hit? 40% on 9. I think he'll be like 1 short. 1 or 2 short. Yep, 3. Okay, I was close. My math isn't that bad yet. I guess Crypt Guardian can finish it off, but he actually goes for the hit with Dead Fairy. I don't know about that. I would have saved the Dead Fairy attacks for the Slag, the Mountain Slag here. There's no way. What's a Shrine at? 73. That's plenty healthy. Like, you can get a double hit here with Corpse Golem, and then get a Shrink and an attack from Rot Wrapper, and then you just go to town on that guy. Swarm it. Come on. Let's see another Lumberer. 17 damage. Jeez. Yeah, Corpse Golem gonna get it. He doesn't even need a Shrink. He's just gonna do 21 on a hit here. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. Disease Amp can really spiral out of control real fast. And what upgrade is he gonna get? Oh, get Acid Aura. Come on. Getting Acid Aura would be hilarious because all of the Slags have Ear. Actually, only some of them do base, but the others get it from Sludge Pool. And there's Karag the buddies. And the Swarm. Okay, so there's the Swarm's working now. Maybe he didn't have the numbers like I thought he did earlier. Yeah, the font goes back to Vodka, and I don't know, Tacticals is looking a little shifty now. He's really got it. Oh, he did get Acid Aura. Great. Just great. Yeah, now Tacticals kind of has to pull back, making a tactical retreat. Yeah, Ooze King is not as tanky as you'd think. Intimidating has quite a lot of counters. I don't know, I feel like Unstoppable should maybe be taken out of that clause. Like, would that be too good? Yeah, probably. You'd have to increase it again somehow. Or, like, increase the Nora cost of the ability if you do that. I'm kind of sad that when Melee Specialist was nerfed down to 2 spaces, it didn't get a cost decrease. Especially at the higher ranks. Because now, like, I mean, I'm not sure of the cost exactly, but, like, Melee Specialist 1 is so awful now. Even rank 2 is not that great. It's really only sometimes 2, usually rank 3 that's OP. I think the Gallows Warden is what I'm most upset about, because he was like kind of on the fringes of playability already for dwarves, but now that Melee Specialist is only 2 spaces, he's kind of lost a lot of his appeal, in my opinion. It's not like he needs a rework or anything. It's just he used Melee Specialist a lot for what he did. There's another Lost Queen, so we got two fabulous queens out here for the Ooze King Slag to choose from. A king always gives each of his queens equal attention. Actually, if he could get an acid bomb on both of the queens at once and then have the DOT kill them, that would be like peak cinema for this game. But Tacticals isn't out of it. He's got the ooze pool. And I don't know how I feel about just dropping that randomly. I mean, it's cheap. It's going to get, breathed away. It's going to get sniped from range by the dead fairy, and it sort of ends up being a wasted 25 Nora. Like, it's not like he needs the ooze right this moment, because xVoddka isn't really moving in. I guess it's more of a deterrent, but I mean now, yeah, 15 damage breath, and then dead fairy just kills it. You wasted 25 Nora for no reason. And then, I mean, that'll allow Corpse Golem to walk in. I'd be a lot less cautious with the Corpse Golem than xVoddka's being. I'd just throw that guy into the font and be done with it. Because he has Absorb, he has Resilient for the ooze, he has Consume if things get dicey. So, yeah, I mean, you'd probably be fine just by running that guy in and being a little more aggressive. Because now that you have the advantage, I mean, Unholy Tomb ticks don't do quite a lot. Maybe if he's running, like, Festering Wounds, he's waiting for a turn where you can just use that and get like Hunter Disease procs on everything. But I guess this is the zombie / Forsaken Waste game plan in a nutshell. Just grind them down. Just grind them down. Keep grinding. Yeah, another thing that's neat about these new skulls is that Crypt Guardian can relocate them and just force the vulnerability proc on whatever you want. So I think these two guys are probably a really good combo for zombies now. Just relocate the vulnerability relic. It honestly kind of makes Wretched Witch not obsolete, but it makes her less of an appealing pick now that Corrupted Aura is here. Because you really don't need more than like 2 or 3 sources of this, because it only affects the closest champ. And you're really only going to be focusing one champ at a time with zombies, because that's your swarming game plan. Sometimes you'll have a breath or something, or an aura that lets you hit multiples. But if you can get cheap Corrupting Aura, like Corrupting Aura was really one of the new Wretched Witch's selling points. But here it looks like Tacticals is going to sit back at his shrine, Shrine Master style, and xVoddka is going to follow suit. He's leaving this font really undefended. Yeah, again, like Corpse Golem has Absorb, he has Resilient, he's got what he needs to survive in this font. Just throw him in there. Just throw him to the wolves. But xVoddka is playing, understandably, pretty passive right now. I would be a little more aggressive if it were me, but keeping your champions off the ooze is really what you want versus Slags. And it looks like he's going to throw Korag into the font instead. I don't know, because Korag can get gunned down by the caustics in the back, whereas Corpse Golem can't. So I would have favored the Corpse Golem contest. But there, okay, so he is running Wretched Witch as well. So lots of vulnerability disease in his deck. And now he's at 50% amp, so he's at maximum ampage. And then Curse, Hex. So the Flesh Weaver Witches also have Curse Hex, and the Wretched Witches have Curse Hex. So you could get like, you could just keep things permanently hexed all game, and there's a lot of damage reduction potential for that. I haven't seen anyone try and run Wretched Witch in actual witches yet, but just judging by her current kit, I would probably not advise it. I think her one true home right now is zombies, because you waste the Revere, you kind of waste the Corrupting Aura, you waste the Amp. Like, all of these abilities are sandbags and witches, whereas in zombies, like, everything that she brings is useful. But it looks like Tacticals is going to he's going to refocus towards xVoddka's shrine, and like, if I were xVoddka, I'd be okay with this. Like, you have Unholy Tomb out, you can justify a Transfigure. It's really Tacticals' only chance at this point. Like, the zombie machine is just going to grind him out because of this massive Nora advantage that xVoddka has. I mean, Korag sitting in the font, that's not going to be... he's not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. He's staked out his claim on that territory. And I mean, Dead Fairy... another Dead Fairy coming out up top, but I guess Dead Fairy could maybe poke at Tacticals' shrine. I guess the reason Tacticals decided on this plan was because of all the exerting that xVoddka has been doing. Well, this is going to be a big binding chains here on all three guys. And that, oh, look at that. Another double deploy from from xVoddka. So Tactical's getting some PTSD from the Sombra game. Crypt Guardian and Dead Fairy on the same turn. Man, xVoddka must be Nora hacking. I mean, there's no way around it. Moving the skull. And then Corpse Golem taking point. Come on, you gotta get your Flesh Weaver in there too. Like, I know you want to save her, the good stuff, but I mean, yeah, okay. So if she moves up, hurt her probably off cooldown then. And I mean, man, poor SP with no cleanse whatsoever. No spot cleanse, at least. You have the odd relieve champ, but other than that, they got nothing. And there's the 2. Wait a minute, shouldn't that be 1? Yeah, that should be 1, right? Because of Dark Healing. But they are healing for 2. I'm not sure if that's working as intended. Yeah, Dark Healing should cut that in half to 1, and then all of xVoddka's champs should heal by that same amount. But Old Talk the Lost coming into play now. Tacticals going all in on this rush. I mean, it's not much of a rush right now because all these guys are ensnared. But there's the sludge pool for the tunnel, and I don't know, maybe we could see a shrine kill this turn. See, the thing about Caustic is with multi-1, you can tunnel and get 2 hits off. So actually, it might be possible. If he has like an Alacrity waiting in the wings, you can get a double hit with the Voltaic as well, and you can get a hit with the Auroral Slag. And then that's about it. But I mean, hey, you might just have enough gas in the tank to do it. Got to get in commander range as well with that Slag Overmind. There you go. I love the tunnel ooze sound effect, by the way, that Slug added. Praise be to Slug for adding that awesome sound effect to that. It's like it's so squelchy and slimy. It's exactly what tunneling through ooze would sound like. So in comes Auroral, and I feel like there might be an Alacrity. He's moving everything to like 6-ish AP first. Voltaic coming. Voltaic got to get in there too. 10 damage each. 10. Oh, hold. 23 HP. Come on, do an Alacrity. Oh god, please do an Alacrity. You got to get to min range. Yeah, for Dissipate. Down to 13. Oh, he moved to 5. He could have gotten another hit if he had the Alacrity and then left it at 3. And then actually, if he had Alacrity, that would have been a kill because he could have gotten a Auroral Slag hit. And then Voltaic Slag could have gotten a second hit. But, the rock... Okay, the Rock Trap moving back? Probably not his preferred Rock Trap choice. But I guess that does prevent a Confuse or a Shrink. And I don't know, like, if I were xVoddka, I'd be a little worried about this. He has to Transfigure, unless he can kill, like, all 5 of these champs. These Caustics have been putting in work this game. This is like this is the biggest reversal we've seen all game. And Old Talk kind of just chilling. Tacticals is probably sitting on like no Nora right now. But in comes the Transfigure. I wouldn't even do a breath. I would just run the fuck away. Like, you don't want to be anywhere near these Caustics. Yeah, there you go. It was a good attempt by Tacticals. And yeah, see, if you were running Alacrity, you could have had it. So maybe next time you run the spell that gives you free AP. It's basically a mini Moby. It gives 4 AP in an AoE. So, or 45 Nora. To me, it seems like a bargain in any SP deck because you could run the War Wizard with it too, and then you just have double Alacrity on hand. 8 HP, like in Slags, when you're healing so much off the ooze, 8 HP is probably like nothing to you, right? Then the Overmind gets hit, and then there's the Moby from xVoddka, and another swarm goes down, probably a third one onto this Voltaic over here as well. And honestly, that was probably Tacticals' only chance, sadly for him. He put up a good one, but now that the Avatar is all the way over here, Dead Magic Zone prevents spells, and Tacticals is just losing all of his fonts. to this advance on the side. Cackle from the witch. Oh, you didn't get that swarm? Really? You didn't have the AP for that? Alright, well, it's on 13 HP. You can swarm that whenever he wants. Oh, wait a minute. If he has a sludge pool. Ooh, but these guys don't have strike or anything. Not a sludge pool, a slag slop. Yeah, there you go. And then just tunnel to that, maybe? You could get an acid bomb. I don't think Ooze King acid bombed in a while. So we could get an acid bomb onto the avatar. He could get... Now here, if he had an alacrity, I don't think... If he had it, he probably would have cast it last turn, but I mean, at the very least, you get an acid bomb here. But I think that's all he can get. Yeah, 12. Because these caustics are out of range with just a tunnel alone. Crypt Guardians are blocking, summons are blocking. He's desperate for this one. He wants it. The avatars are going to be down to 13 HP. Is there anything in SP that can deal with that? Maybe like, I don't know, double echo chamber? I feel like in Slags you wouldn't have room for double echo chamber. One thing to note is that this is a normal game. This is not a ranked game, so I guess you could like do a betrayal on one of your guys for a free double hit, but I feel like that would maybe be a little cheating. Would that be cheating to run betrayal because it's a normal game and it's not banned in normal games? I don't know. I'd have to think on that one. I would probably venture yes, but yeah, I don't think Tactical's thought that far ahead. Can't do an avalanche because of the dead magic zone. Did he try? No, that's Ooze Tap. But he's going for it. These caustic slags are pretty high HP, actually. They're almost full. So maybe he can just tunnel through and kill the avatar somehow, but he's gonna run again. Nah, yeah, it's probably over. Because Vodka here kills the Ooze King with range, and then he'd have to do like another slag slop onto one of these spaces, and that's assuming the ooze pool survives. If he does get it though, I mean, shit, that would be a great ending to this one. Tacticals like loses the entire map over here and then just taps the avatar once with one of these slags, and he's gonna get swarmed on that caustic, and then this caustic probably gonna die. Gonna have Lost Queen maybe come in for a Ravenous Torrent, and then spells are always a possibility. Despoil just to block off these last few open spaces that weren't on Dead Magic Zone. Probably a good play, honestly. I think the only way Tacticals would have won there is by somehow getting his caustic to an ooze space over here, and then doing an attack in like an echo chamber or something. But this caustic is not long for this world. It's also impaired vision thanks to the Dead Fairy, so it has lost all of its range. And there's the Bizarre, yeah, that's definitely the end of the game then, if this caustic dies. Oh, 10, wow, fucking Vodka using Shrine Exertion to get that kill. Avatar down to 3 HP. That is some balls, man. I would not be Elsarai Bazaring right now. What the hell was that? Was that an anathema? It's like 22 damage onto the avatar. Where the fuck did that come from? Yeah, anathema is now disease damage, so you can use it in your zombies. Also, Blight the Holy. If any of you mad lads are crazy enough to run Blight the Holy in your zombies, it also does disease damage, only to Protectorate champions. But I mean, at 50% amp, it's a 30 damage single target nuke. So go right ahead, yeah, you know. But Lost Queen, nabbing that bottom font, and here I would expect to surrender, right? Like, what do you do in this position? Do you just wait on like? Okay, so there's an avalanche. You have no champions. And that's about it. There's no shot he has a stealth champion. There's no way. I would have noticed. I think I have a pretty good track record for noticing stealth deploys on this channel. That was totally not sarcasm, by the way. I really think I do. There's only a few instances where I feel like I've missed them. Usually when there's like winning numbers playing or something. Not winning numbers. Who's that guy that always runs the fucking annoying ass stealth deck? I think there's like 2 of them. Yeah, all talk down to 27, and that should be the end of the game. Already seen 1 Moby, but we shouldn't need a second, because there's a herder here. Oh, but Rebuke... Okay, yeah, Rebuke. I was going to say Rebuke would just kill everything, but it's only Rebuke rank 3. It used to be Rebuke rank 6, and a Moby would indeed kill everything here. But avatars were severely nerfed. Alakami, please. Avatars are so sad right now. We need avatar buffs. They're begging for it, man. Look at old talk here, just being overrun by meat. And man, a desecration finished for the BM as well. So well played to both, and that will be the end of the first tournament match. xVoddka moving up in the bracket, and hope to see everyone in the next one.